Hello, and today I'm going to be talking about the 3 most important numbers for your business. Welcome to the Results Mastery live stream and podcast. Whether you're listening on live or you're on my podcast, welcome. Thank you for being here, and it's great to have you. My name's Steve Mills, and I've been helping businesses now for over 31 years. I've worked with over 10,000 businesses, achieving an average of 45% growth within 12 months. Now, today I'm going to be talking about what I said right at the beginning, and that is the 3 most important numbers in your business. Because as we all know, numbers are the currency of business. We have financial numbers, we have sales and marketing numbers, and we have operational numbers. Operational numbers could be the time it takes you to fulfill a certain project, or the number of people that work for you, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to assume that you've got the financial numbers sorted, or you've got an accountant that sorts those. One of the problems with that is often they tell you how well you did last year. So it's like marketing yourself or running your business through the rear view mirror, which is never a good way. You're better off looking forward. But today we're going to talk about what I believe are the 3 most important numbers for you to understand from a sales and marketing point of view, which is really a code word for a business growth point of view. If you want to grow your business, there are only 2 ways. 1, reduce costs. 2, increase sales. That's it. Okay, so you can reduce costs sort of immediately. You can save something. I can turn the lights out and start saving money, but there's only so much I can save. On the flip side, increasing sales, I can get to whatever size I want. I could have a multi-million or even billion-pound business. It depends what I want to do. So that said, let's look at how to do that. The first thing we've got to do, the first number, not necessarily in the order of priority, but certainly a really important number, is the number of leads that we get. If you don't know how many leads you get, then I don't know, it's very difficult to know where to put the time, money, and effort. It all starts with understanding. If you're doing X amount of marketing, perhaps you're doing email marketing, you may be doing pay-per-click advertising, you're doing some SEO, you're going networking, whatever it is you're doing, that's producing a result for you. If you don't know that result, then that's the first thing you need to know. So how many leads do you get per day, per week, per month, per quarter, per year? What are your lead generation numbers? If you don't know them, now is the time to start doing that. And you can do that, just set up a simple spreadsheet and start measuring it, monitoring it, and making sure that you know. Number 2 then, it's all very well creating loads of leads, isn't it? But if the leads don't convert into at least meetings, assuming that's part of your sales system, they have a meeting with you before they buy. Not every business is like that, obviously. But if that's the process, we need to then make sure that you maximize the number of leads into meetings. Okay, so if you get, let's say, just so I can use percentages, I'll say 100 leads per month, and you currently get 50 meetings, then without being an accountant, I can roughly work out that that's 50%. Okay, so I'm getting 50% of my leads turning into meetings. Now, that's either a good thing or not, but whatever you perceive that to be, I just wonder whether you could improve it in some way. What's your system? How do you go about turning those leads into meetings? What's your process? Could that process be any better? Do you send them testimonials? Do you send them case studies? Do you send them a video of you talking that sort of positions you as an expert in your field? Do you get them to fill out a a questionnaire so that you've got a better understanding of them when they get in that meeting, so you can go to the next step, which is turning those meetings into sales. One of the biggest, easiest, quickest ways of growing your business by a significant amount is to improve your meeting conversion rate, meetings into sales. So if I use that 50, I've now got 50 meetings per month, and I'm currently converting, let's say 50%. I got 25 sales. So I get 100 leads, 50 meetings, 25 sales. Now, here's an important number here. If you could improve that 50% to, let's say, 60%, so you just improve it by 10%, that'd be pretty good. If you could improve it by just 25%, so instead of converting 50 of them, you convert 75, get 75 meetings instead of 50 meetings. That's going to help you grow your business by 50%, not by 25%, because 75 is 50% more. Now, here's another important number. You got 25 meetings out of the 50. You got 25 sales out of the 50 meetings. If you could become better at converting those meetings, again, the leverage is just massive. If you went from 50% to 75% again, so you get 75%, you grow your business not by 20%, by 50%, 50% growth from that initial figure. So these are all things, these are all key performance indicators, key numbers in your business that reflect the performance that you're currently creating. And what your job is as the owner of the business is to A, know what they are, B, know what you wish they were, what you'd like to achieve, and C, know what to do to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. And that's what I spend my life, my working life doing. I help businesses to understand their numbers, to understand what they are doing to try to improve them. But importantly, what do you want? What's the result that you'd really like? You might be getting like 100 leads in, you currently convert about 30%, and you'd like to get it to 50%. Great. Or you'd like to get it to 60%. You know, that's double your business, double. Without getting more leads, without putting more time, money, and effort into marketing, you can double your business by doubling your conversion rate, only by 30%. You've doubled the size of your business. I hope you get that, because it's really, really true. Okay, so they're the three most important numbers in your business, I believe. Apart from obviously things like your profit and your turnover and stuff like that. I'm talking about marketing here. Next, we're going to look at other KPIs. So your acquisition cost. How much does it cost you to acquire a customer in the first place? What's your client acquisition cost? Let's just look at an example. Let's say you're doing, I don't know, Facebook advertising, and your current budget is you spending £1,000 a month on Facebook advertising. That's producing 100 leads, and you know your turnover and your conversion rate into meetings and so on. But at the moment, to acquire a lead, if you're spending £1,000 and you're getting 100 leads, then guess what? The client or the lead acquisition cost is £10, isn't it? It's £10 for every client. That's how much it costs you. And until and unless you know how much it costs you to get a lead, how can you work out what you can afford to spend in order to get that lead in the first place? Having said that, it's not just about leads, is it? Because we know it's £10 for a lead, but what is it for a client? You know, if that produces, those 100 leads produce 50 clients, then what's the acquisition cost? It's £20, isn't it? It's £20 to get the client, and sorry, it's £10 to get the client, and it's 20. I'll get this right in a minute. It's £10 to get the lead, and it's £20 to get the client. So if that's the case, what we then need to know is how much is that client worth? Not on a one-off sale, assuming you're not a one sale business, but over the lifetime of that client. Okay. And that's a really, really important number that a lot of businesses don't know. What is the lifetime value of a client? Let me just give you an example. Many years ago, I sold a flat. It was in Cardiff, and we had a solicitor there. Great guy, really got on well with him. His name was Richard. And he charged us £1,200 to sell this flat. Great, good job. Did us a great job, got on well with him, really liked him. The lifetime value that Richard had from us was £1,200. Why? Because he never got in touch with us since that day. Now, I know he liked us, and I know it wasn't a stressful job that he didn't want to do again. You know, he didn't want to work with us. That wasn't the case. But what he didn't do is continue keeping in touch with us. So we could have needed wills doing. We were going to move house at some point. He probably lost about 4 sales, in truth, over a period of time. He lost about 4 or 5 sales of houses as we moved house every, whatever it is, 5 or 6 years, something like that. I wonder what else he lost. He could have lost money that we used to settle some legal dispute. I can't particularly think of one that that comes to mind, but you understand. It could have been, he got 1,200. I would estimate that he could have got from us, probably somewhere in the region of 10 to 15 grand that he left sitting on the table and never, ever got from us because he didn't do anything. So that's really important. Another number that you might want to think about is your average unit of sale. What is the average sale? That, again, so easy to work out. You know, what did you turn over last month? Well, you turned over 10 grand a month, right? So, it doesn't matter whether it's 10 grand or 10 million, but 10,000. Okay. So how do you work out your average unit of sale? Well, how many invoices did you send out? If you sent out 10 invoices, then guess what? Your average unit of sale is £1,000 on average. Doesn't matter if one's 3 and one's 300 and one's 3,000. Your average unit of sale, you sent out 10 invoices, you got in £10,000. Therefore, your average unit of sale is 1,000. So we need to know that as well. So other interesting numbers just for you to think about are, where do your leads come from? You know, are they coming from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from Twitter, from your website, from networking, from your advertising? You know, it's really important to know where to put your time, money, and effort. You know, if you're putting all your effort financially into Google ads, but you're not doing hardly anything on LinkedIn, and you're still winning more business on LinkedIn, then, you know, something's wrong with that picture. And really, you should be looking at that. So where do your leads come from? What about your outgoing messages? You know, you could say, well, you know, I'm not doing very well from email marketing. I'm trying email marketing and I'm not doing very well. Okay, so what's the numbers like? Well, I'm sending out 1 email a month to 500 people. Well, I wonder why you're not doing very well then. You know, it's probably because you're not sending out enough emails and your database is really small. You know, I've got a 10,500 email database. And some people have got 100,000 database. I've got 10.5 at the moment. I'm constantly working on increasing that and growing it and improving it and getting rid of, by the way, all the people who are not interested. So that's a really important thing. And why is all that important? Why do we need to know that? Why do we need those top three: number of leads, meetings, and sales? Because what we can do then is to test different things in order to improve the effectiveness of what we're doing. Let me give you some examples. You can improve the headline on your emails. You can improve the words on your website. You can add the use of video to improve conversion. You can increase prices to increase the average unit of sale. You can do more marketing in order to get more business. You know, if one of the ways of winning marketing at the moment is to pick up the phone and talk to people, then you could talk to more people. If you talk to 100 people and then that gets you 20 leads per month, if you talk to 200 people, you'd get, give or take, 40 leads per month. So I know this sounds really simple and obvious, but it's amazing how many businesses don't do it. So you can work on each and every element of everything that you're doing in order to try and improve the performance of it. I really hope this is making sense to you, because it's what drives business. It's what's going to make you more money. You cannot manage what you do not measure. And if you don't measure your key marketing numbers, then it's very difficult to know what's working, what's not, what you need to do to try to change and improve things. So that's it. That's all I've got for you this week. It's a really important message. I hope you've took notice of it. I hope you've enjoyed my talk, but mostly I hope you do something. I've got a spreadsheet that I use for my clients. If you would like a copy of it, then just drop me an email. Email me saying, can you send me the spreadsheet? Let's call it the KPI, or the results KPI spreadsheet. You can use that to measure all your different business metrics, key performance indicators, etc. I really hope you take action. Thank you ever so much for listening. And if you want to know more from me, if you want to book a meeting with me to talk about how I can help you to improve those numbers, then feel free to do so. Other than that, I'll just say goodbye for now. Don't forget, I do this every single week on Wednesday, 12:30. So keep an eye on my website. If you go to my website, you'll see a red button called Steve Mills Live. You can always log in there and listen to me talking about how to grow your business. Thanks very much for listening.